All right. I think we should be on now. All right, guys. Sorry about being tardy about 5 minutes. My apologies. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard to the Aftermarket Recap. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thanks for joining me today and every afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's go ahead and get to work. All right. So let's go ahead, bring up Thinkorswim, and go over the day. The Dow Jones did fall today, down 491 points. NASDAQ down 2.98%. Mega caps took a big hit today. We're going to go over that in a second. S&P down 2% today. Pretty much a round trip from Friday is basically what happened in futures. Equal weight S&P fared better than the rest. Value stocks were bid. Energy did well today. Let's take a look. Small caps took a hit, 1.88%, 172.44 on IWM. I was looking at calls for that. I didn't get any new volume. Let's look at high yield credit, down 1.10%, 73.76. Again, moving down with the NASDAQ. Investment grade bonds were pretty much flat. But in terms of government bonds, TLT, that was green today, but yet yields were higher. Interesting. And then we take a look here at crude oil. Crude oil was up 2.07% today, 111.84 a barrel. And gasoline futures were up 1%, $3.77 a gallon. Bitcoin took a hit as well. We know that's still the proxy for like the NASDAQ, kind of same thing, similar moves. 20,230, 1,157 for Ethereum. We know that Bitcoin is the higher beta to the beta being Bitcoin in terms of crypto. Let's go over what happened today. So today, as a trader, was one of those days where you think you know, but then the market says otherwise. And it's very humbling, obviously. But does it mean when something happens in one day, does that mean the analysis is thrown out? Well, that really depends on your time frame. It really depends on what you're looking for or what you're expecting, right? When is a trade invalidated? Again, there's always technical levels that people kind of go by. Some people just go by feel. Some people just don't put stops because they just feel they're in more control, which is fair. But you need to have a point of no return, right? And that's kind of what I want to go over here, where you say, okay, man, you know it's a loser, you confirmed it, you get out, right? Or it's one of those, they try to fake us out moments. Why do I bring that up? Because it's very interesting how patterns work. Now, again, this is just based on what I've seen today. So this is S&P futures. This is a 20-day chart, 1-hour candles. And we could see we basically round tripped the Friday's move. Interesting, right? But we kind of settled pretty much at the same spot, 38 and a quarter, 38.25, as what we were 9:30 a.m. on Friday. Is that a coincidence? No, or is just a recheck of the breakout point? Did we have any gaps at that level? Let's take a look. Did we have any gaps there? We did not. So is that just pure coincidence? Let's play on that. So we're right there at support, and that's why I put my alert there at 38.20. We do have the 200-day moving average at 37.82. We do have 38.49 being the blue line, which was the 100, which held earlier in the afternoon and then fell. So you could see we had the consolidation. I talked about that today on the blog, where we had a consolidation in the S&P. And usually when you get a bunched up formation in terms of tighter and tighter price action moves, up or down, or just staying within range, you're going to get some kind of explosive or violent move, up or down. The expectation was up. It was down. How does this look like before? Let's take a look at this chart. This is the Bloomberg S&P futures chart. A couple of things that I wanted to show you guys in terms of things I saw. Back in June 16th, when we tapped the recent low of around 36.40, let's call it, that was a drop, peak to trough, the drop about 4.79%. And then we had another drop around the 20th, around 1.22%, peak to trough. And then we had a nice rally to the upside. Let's price out that upside move. If we start here and we go up here, we had about a 3.35% move to the upside. That did not change trend. Do you see this bar or this channel here? I'm making this channel for a reason to show you where majority of the price action happened on S&P during this time, just in the past 10 days. You could see that we did break above it and we also broke below it. But we've talked about how support can be just like a mattress. It can just sink in and then bounce. Looks like that's what happened. Or being resistant, not such a hard board or a piece of concrete or what have you, a roof or something. It could still be broken, right? So we had that bounce. We had that 4.79 fall back on the 16th. 1.22 after that. Then we bounced about 3%. We fell about 2%. The 2% one I want to focus on. Why do I want to say that? Because that was Tuesday going into Wednesday. And I will not forget that because I remember I had an alert on an S&P futures long. Same exact time. I was long S&P futures at this time and the stop was coming in. It was coming in hot and I was at Target just shopping for some things with no signal. I'm losing my mind. That's why I'll never forget it. And at that time on Tuesday, I'm like, man, did they really sell this off? Like, are we going to retest those lows? But again, the trend was pointing up. It became a stop run where we bounced right off this level of around 3,700, the bottom of the channel. We rallied back to the upside right around 3807. And if you remember that Wednesday and that Thursday, we chopped around for a bit. Higher lows, higher highs, but still within the resistance. So we talked about this yesterday. What did we have? The ascending triangle or rising wedge, what have you, whatever you want to call it. And then we had the explosion higher, 4.41%. No problem, right? So you have two legs of this rally. You had the overnight rally, which was S&P futures, the consolidation before market open, and the ignition higher. So just for S&P 500 purposes, we're going to continue it all being one. So that's 4.41%. So we've had dips, we've had pops. What's the big deal, Carlos? Well, the most recent drop we just had today was right around 3%. Let's call it 3.17%. I may not have it exact to the T, but just around 3.1%. The last time we had a drop of that magnitude, let's call it, was around 2.31% on a Tuesday after hours. If all things being equal, we have another 4.41% increase like we did on Friday, that'll get us to our target, as stated before, of 4,000. I just can't believe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. We'll see. I am still long, and I think we bounce off the support. Call me permeable, whatever you want, but at 4,000 is where I want to buy puts. Not puts now. That's too early. You're supposed to do that later. Anyways, a ton of things I said there. I hope you really check it out when you go back and look at the video. You can watch this at any time. Let's go ahead and go over some sectors together. And why did the market go down today? As I was looking around on Bloomberg and TOS and Google on what exactly happened today in the market, bonds didn't lead the way. Really, the dollar being the main, I guess, the main thing where things were higher, where stocks declined. We talked about how important the dollar is. Again, that Nike earnings report. Nike had a rough day today. But look at the mega caps. Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon, Tesla, all down big. Nvidia down 5%. Look at the green slivers out there. Morgan Stanley doing their stock buyback. Qualcomm with the rumor that they'll be the exclusive iPhone chip provider, until at least next year. And of course, energy. And Las Vegas Sands, I saw some Vegas stocks that were up today. I don't know on what news, but I think there was possibly an upgrade. But for the most part, really, the mega caps took a hit. If we remember very vividly to last week, just last week, remember how much we soared that last week? So again, it makes sense to have a little bit of a give back or a check back. That I think that's completely normal. I wish I would have traded to the downside because I was still long. So again, sometimes you can be early, doesn't mean you're wrong. Again, we've heard that before. Look at the one-day relative performance. Energy up again, 2.28%. Cyclicals, technology, and services. We talked about that on Sunday. Those are the names I want to focus on because they're the ones that were beaten down so much. Again, if we're leading our way higher. Of course, look at the three sectors that were down today. Look how much it hurt the actual index as a whole. Looking at just the past 1 week relative performance, this is the past five trading days, utilities, healthcare, real estate, consumer defensive. A still defensive type market in terms of performance, even though we are still off the lows. So again, we have not unwound that risk on yet. And that's why I'm not just so confident to go all in and buy stocks here. Not because I don't find stocks attractive at these PE multiples. We want to make sure that the multiples match where we want. We have to make sure we have the P. Now we need the E. So again, there's different pockets out there. Let's take a look at oil real quickly, and we'll take a look at some questions. And again, energy. Again, I love it if it gets down to 90 90 to 98. That's where I'm looking for. But we continue to bounce, obviously, with more Russian headlines in terms of NATO and the G7, excuse me. So again, the banning of Russian gold. Also, we have the natural gas pipeline maybe turned off in Europe from the Russians. Who knows? But again, pretty choppy price action on crude. Energy getting a nice bounce. Remember how overbought they were. So again, I see more of a technical bounce than I do just a reshot of everything. But XLE did hit some support right around 70. Does that have a little more to the upside? Really depends on crude. And again, crude is very beholden to headlines. I mean, OPEC does meet. So again, who knows what the production levels are going to be at, but that's a tough one there with crude. So I'll wait for 90 to 95 a barrel to go ahead and fire away and buy some energy stocks, which also news came out that Warren Buffett bought some more stake in Oxy Petroleum. Here is Oxy, and nice day today, 4.77%. All right, let's answer some questions. Gene is asking, hi, any idea on NVIDIA for the rest of the week and beyond? So when it comes to NVIDIA, looking here, really haven't done much. We're pretty much stuck in a range, pretty much between 175, 170 to around 155. We hit short-term support on a gap to fill, pretty close to it, around 158.91. But if we dig deeper, kind of look under the hood, we can go to the SMH. SMH looks very similar to NVIDIA since NVIDIA is the biggest part of it. This is the semiconductor ETF. We saw Qualcomm had a nice day today with that news, but it really didn't bolster the rest of the chips. So again, does NVIDIA have any kind of direction? Tough to say because we don't have any kind of news that we expect or any kind of catalyst, and I don't see earnings coming out anytime soon. So tough to call, my man. I mean, we do have some upside gaps to fill as Nvidia gets larger in terms of market cap. The beta gets a little smaller because they're going to be so much more weighted with the S&P, and we know how much it weighs in the QQQs. So Nvidia is going to be moving pretty close to those names. So if the Qs are down, more than likely Nvidia will go with it. Nvidia was down 5.26% while the Nasdaq was down, or the Qs were down 3. So you can see again, it's underperforming by that much. Let's see here. Carmen says, "Hey, Carlos, we are going by patterns as well on both ES charts you had up. Kind of look like a cup and handle. You could also add to your TA. Sure. Yeah, very true. Good eye. Good eye on that one, Carmen. Yeah, it kind of looks like a cup and handle. That's very true. But again, in terms of the numbers, I mean, to me, it just stood out when I was looking at that today. I mean, again, I fully expect 4,000 even by the end of the week. So I still think we bounce. I know, call me crazy, but that's what I think. Do you think Square is a good company? Well, define a good company. I mean, what I think is a good company, let's say, for example, in terms of environmental way or the way they handle business or don't do business with, maybe certain countries or something like that. It depends. Do I think Square has a future? I do. I think Square has a future for sure. We know that Jack Dorsey is all in on Bitcoin. Square has become more of a Bitcoin proxy as they have Bitcoin on their balance sheet. So I'll ask you this question. Do you think Bitcoin is a good investment? If you think they're going to go higher and you're invested in it, I think you'd stay in Square. The only problem with Square is that the valuations may be a little high. But if you were asking me today, and they don't have a PE ratio because they don't make money, if you like Square and you need to buy that stock, fair enough. I think you could do worse than that. But I think Square is our block is fine if you expect Bitcoin to go up. If you do not expect Bitcoin to go up, then I would not buy it. No. So calls tomorrow or wait for Thursday? Well, today I want to see the price action, especially with futures. I'll be watching that very closely. If we can get above 38.49 and settle there at least and hold that 100-day moving average, then we should see a nice turnaround Wednesday. But again, will it be enough to get us out of a chop? Again, we had that on Wednesday where we had a bounce, and then we chopped around to Thursday, eating premiums. We're going to need to see a clean break. I would say 38.80 would be it, where I would be more comfortable with calls. Now, granted, you're 50 points away. Let's see what Asia does. If they sell us off, then 37.82 is it. And basically, all this chart stuff is meaningless. Not the first time I had meaningless charts, my man. All right, guys, we'll leave it there. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Tough one today, that's for sure. But it's called a retest. There you go. Always called a retest. It's true. We talked about that earlier. Complete round trip, complete retest. And again, you get a retest and you get a bounce. Happens. That's usually how it goes. Or we can break down. Heads or tails, right? But I'll be watching for sure. Have a good afternoon, guys. We will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cheers.